Jen here with the Rogue Homestead. So today I'm going to be potting up my tomatoes that we planted in the solo cups. So some of them have gotten some more leaves on them, okay, and they're getting pretty big, and I want to pot them up before they get too big, because if they get too big then I can't separate them without damaging their roots. So I'm just going to show you guys how I do that. So I'm just going to fill up some more of these solo cups with the holes in the bottom with soil, separate each one of these out individually, and then just plant them in their own cup. And then these cups will be big enough for me to keep the plants in until I actually put them in the ground or in my raised bed out in the yard. So let's get started. Alrighty. I actually will, 1, 2, 3, 4, there's 5 plants in this one. So I'll just fill up. I don't want soil in my coffee. A couple of these, and I've pre-labeled these with the names on what tomatoes I've got here, because I've got 2 different kinds of cherry tomatoes. I've got some Ruger and I've got some beefsteak here. So, all right, one more, and then this will be plenty for this cup. What's really nice about the multi-sowing is that I used 1 cup and I've got 5 plants in it. So, all right. So now I'm just going to take this cup, I'm just going to turn it over, and I'm going to gently pull some of this soil out and then just kind of break them apart. And I will get each individual plant. And I'm trying to not damage any of their roots. See, look at this guy. Look at how long those roots are, if you guys can see. And if I would have let these go, I could let them go for another couple days, but once they start getting really big, those roots are going to start tangling together. And then I'm going to end up having to pinch off all of these extra seeds that I have in here, which means I'm going to have to pretty much cut them in the same pot so that I only had 1 plant. And I don't want to do that. I put all these seeds in there. I put all of those seeds in there because I obviously wanted to keep them. So let's move that over for right now. All right, so I've got them separated into their own little cups. Now, tomato plants, what's cool about tomatoes is that all along their stem, so I can bury these pretty deep. I can bury them almost all the way up to their leaves, because all along the whole tomato stem they get these little hairs, and those little hairs are roots, because tomato plants actually, so they and we grow them up normally. We use tomato cages, we use wires, and they grow up for us. But naturally, they fall on the ground, and all of those little hairs dig into the soil and make more roots. So it's actually along the ground, rooted along the whole ground, is actually how tomatoes grow naturally in the world when we're not messing around with them. But that's it. 1 tomato, pot it up. I mean, that's super easy. Honestly, a lot of this stuff is just a little bit more time consuming than anything. Like getting the kids preoccupied on something so I can get out here, or, whatever, is really harder than actually this work itself. But there we go. 2 done. It's kind of a gloomy day here. It's supposed to rain later, and I'm okay with that, because then that's making it so I don't have to go out there and I don't have to water my Greenstalk. I don't have to water my other potatoes, all that stuff. My daughter's upset. Hold on. Let me get these potted up here. Okay, so I finished potting up the 5 cherry tomatoes, and then I got some more containers of dirt ready so that I can pot up these cherry tomatoes and kind of be ready to go. So again, I just turn it over, pull some dirt, and there we go. And we're ready to go. So as I said in a previous video, is that we just moved to Tennessee maybe a month ago, maybe a little over a month. And the weather is amazing. There's still snow, back, on the western side of the United States where we came from. Like, there's still snow. So it's nice that the weather is actually feeling like spring, and at points it actually feels like summer sometimes, for us at least right now. So we're really enjoying the weather. But last year when I was gardening in Washington, we had this random frost. I think almost everybody, you'll hear lots of people talking about this random frost that they had in the middle of their season. I had just, maybe the day or two before this frost happened, I had planted out 10 tomato plants, that we had worked so hard at growing and starting from seed and potting up. We worked so hard. And then this frost came through and just killed them. And I was like, oh, I just couldn't believe it. It killed my tomatoes, and then it killed almost all of my peppers. And I was just almost heartbroken, because I was like, this was so much effort, and just in an instant, overnight, dead. But I had done some research, and I was like, okay, I'm just gonna leave them, because maybe it didn't completely kill them. Maybe the bottom leaves or something will come back. So I did end up getting a really late harvest of tomatoes. They were all of them were pretty much green when I pulled them off the stalk. There were a few red ones, but we ended up getting a harvest. I mean, it was a decent sized harvest. We had probably half a dining room table full of smaller green tomatoes, and they were amazing. And it was just kind of, we just let ourselves be like, you know what, this is a super big bummer, but let's see if they can come back. And they did. It was really cool. I was very pleased with that. So this year, our last frost date is April 16th, which is in a couple weeks. And I'm probably going to wait a little, maybe a week and a half, maybe even 2 weeks after that frost date to put out my tomatoes when they're a little bit bigger, in my raised beds, just to be safe. So I don't want any frost to kill these suckers this year. I am not interested in that happening. So I'll do that with my tomatoes and my peppers, and just to kind of be on the safe side and give them a little extra time to grow, because I did kind of start my seedlings a little bit late, so they might need a couple, an extra half a week or week or so to get to the right size to plant out. But and I'll give you guys an update on my last video. I did my potato video. I actually just posted my potato video a couple days ago, and I had previously done it a little bit, obviously prior to that, because all the editing and stuff that you have to do that goes along with it. But I actually, in one of my containers, I have a tomato plant coming up. So that's pretty exciting. And then in the Greenstalk, in my potato video, I gave you guys an update of the Greenstalk too. And I also want to do another update today of the Greenstalk, because I have some radishes coming up. I have some beets coming up, more lettuce. Yeah, and I've got some peas coming up as well in that little container. I didn't do very many peas. I'm kind of it might be a little bit late, but I might throw another pea seed or two in that pot and see how it does. I'm actually going to use my my deck railing as my trellis and see how that goes for the peas, because I've got them in a pot on that bench and I'm just going to kind of let them grow up this side and maybe down the side of the deck and see how it goes. It might not work. I might have to do a lot of tying them up, but that's okay. I think it would be pretty as long as the kids don't touch them. With my strawberries, we've actually had a couple ripe strawberries already out of the Greenstalk. There's been like 4 of them. And so I let the kids, I was there helping them, pulling them off, you know, so there was no damage. And I went inside and I came back out just because I had that feeling. I'm like, they're kind of being really quiet. Like, what are they doing? Well, our third daughter, she decided she was going to help herself to some of the strawberries on the Greenstalk. So I came out here and she was on a chair at the top of the Greenstalk just picking white strawberries and eating them. And I had to explain to her, honey, you don't touch this without mommy and daddy here, first off, because you might ruin the plants. And second off, that was not ready. It's white. And she loved it anyway. She thought it was delicious. So whatever. At least she's enjoying a healthy snack, right? Okay. I'm going to get you guys over here so that, and I get kind of a top view of how I'm doing this so that you guys can see a little bit better. But look it, we started out with 5 solo cups of tomatoes, and all of these now are their own individual plants. Like, you can start out with barely any and then pot yourself up, and look at this. We're going to have tons of tomatoes. I'm really excited about the cherry tomatoes. Those are, they're so pretty and delicate. I think I've got 2 different kinds of cherries, and I'm hoping that I'm going to get enough to do some canning. I'll have to show you guys some of that. We do pizza sauce. We do pizza sauce. We do marinara sauce. And then I believe that we did just tomato sauce is what we did last year. And like I said, because we didn't get a good harvest on our tomatoes, we ended up actually going to a local farm and just getting 2, I think it was 2 or 3 huge boxes of tomatoes. And we just spent a couple days using those tomatoes and doing our own canned goods. And that was super fun. And you know, it's always great and important to support your local farmers. Justin looked up some local farms around here, and that's what we're gonna go do on Easter. Is we're gonna go do an Easter egg hunt on one of these farms out here, and then maybe check out, see what kind of produce they have coming up throughout the year. And it's a little bit of a drive for us, but that's okay. See if it's organic produce, and if we need some extra cucumbers, or if we need some more tomatoes this season, or, you know, anything, or beans. I want to try to can some green beans this season, and, you know, just support the local farmer. That's really, it's really important to us, and also to be sustainable. We want to help the people who are trying to make a living at being sustainable and growing a small quantity of food for local people. So that's something that we want to be a part of. And I really encourage you guys to want to be a part of that too. Because mine and Justin's goal in the future is maybe something like cattle and a small farm. And, you know, we just have lots of ideas here in the next couple years. We're renting this house, and we're trying to make this we're trying to grow as much of our own food. Like we can't have any animals, like any chickens or anything like that. So that'll be in the future. But right now, a big part of being able to be sustainable isn't just meat. It's the vegetables that you can grow. And I'm trying to hone that skill. I've been gardening for a couple years, but I always want to get better and I always want to try new things and be able to feed our family. And that's super important to us. So let me get you over here and I'll show you. I might pot up one pepper or something because I have got some peppers over there. I'll pot one up and show you guys in a really close-up view how I actually do this. Okay guys, so this is kind of the top view. So I have my tomato seedling and you can see their roots right there. So this whole stem, when it gets bigger, it will have a bunch of hairs on it. So this whole stem can be a part of the root system. So I'm gonna bury it all the way up to the top leaves. I don't want the top leaves to be like in the dirt or, you know, or like right up here. I'll do it just a little bit down here. So there's a little bit of space. So these top leaves aren't touching the dirt, because if they touch the dirt, then that's when you can get yourself susceptible to some sort of disease with your plant. So just a little ways away from the leaves. But you just take it, you make a little hole, you take it and you drop it in, push it down a little bit, and then literally just pinch the soil around it. And that's what it looks like. See, just a little bit of space for those leaves, but then it's gonna grow up, and the deeper that you plant them, the stronger the roots will be. All of our tomatoes are potted up. So these are 2 tomato plants that Justin got me from the store. So these guys are a little bit bigger than the ones that I previously potted up in my solo cups. But I wanted to show you guys, do you see the little hairs growing off the stem? I'm trying to get my camera to focus. You can kind of see them there. All those little hairs that are growing off the stem. So those are what I was talking about. They can turn into roots. So those, when in nature, the tomato plant lays on its side, those grow into roots deep in the ground. So that's why on a tomato plant, you can cut off some of the leaves and bury the stem in the ground, and it will turn into roots and you'll have a stronger rooted plant. So that's what I was talking about. If you guys can see those little hairs on the stem. Okay, here's a little bit of the Greenstalk update. What I really want to show you guys is, look at that. Those are radishes, and it's almost all the way around that these radishes are coming up in their perspective little holes here. And then on the bottom, beets. Look at how beautiful those beets are. Beets galore. Look at that. Beautiful. So we also got this little spinner. It allows me to spin the Greenstalk and also move it super easily. The little rollers. And then there's a tube, which I thought was super cool. You see that tube? So that like allows us to project our water wherever we want. So after we water, it just goes out the tube and down. Pretty sweet. So that's the Greenstalk update there. And then over here, we've got some peas, little pea shoots coming up in this pot. And then in our potatoes, we've got the very first potato plants coming up out of that one. So pretty pleased with all this. I'll keep you guys updated on everything when it starts getting big and beautiful. Oh, and then we put this like little window box. We put it right up here on on the railing, and I've got some herbs in it. And Justin's gonna build me, I think, another one or two, and we're gonna put it kind of right there. And then I'm gonna have my peas grow up this. And hopefully I'm just gonna have this big old wall of peas. We'll see how that goes. So, yeah. We also added in another little strawberry patch in this little raised bed over here. So 2 different strawberry patches. Hey guys, so finished potting up the tomatoes. They look great. It's really easy, not overly time consuming, and I hope you guys liked the update on the Greenstalk, all those seedlings that are popping up, and also the potatoes that are starting to pop up. So anyway, if you liked what we did today and you got something out of it, I'd love it if you'd hit the like button and subscribe to us for some more tips and tricks in the garden and also in the kitchen. And as always, I hope you have a great day no matter where you are.